keys, Mike.
Chevy Chase.
Hey, you just passed the Garden State Parkway South.
Don't worry, I'll get you there.
Demi Moore.
Oh, no, cop.
Driver, step outside the car, please.
John Candy.
Redham? Yeah, that's nice, thanks. The lower back, please. I got an itch right up in there. It's good, thank you.
Not today, sir.
This may be Valkenvania, but it is still America. And wouldn't mind, would you just write a ticket here, or we could settle it some other way, perhaps?
That's not the way things work around here.
What is this place?
Revolving District Court for the Village and Shire of Valkenvania is now in order. The Honorable Reeve Alvin Vulcanizer presides.
Dan Aykroyd.
Put out that dog rocket!
Nothing but trouble.
So sorry.
Hey, you know, you and I ought to spend a little more time together.
I'd like that.
Would you?
Welcome to the last resort.
You look pretty this evening, sister. Doing something different with your hair?
Where something's always cooking.
How about a nice Hawaiian punch?
You're some good friends.
Okay, let's eat.
Where someone's always shaken. And anything's better than house policy.
What's house policy? Well, whatever man touches her's the one she keeps. What?
All they wanted
Oh, no, wait a minute. I just went through a damn stoplight.
was a little getaway.
I think the two of you'd make a perfect couple.
You make this your bride.
No, not in front of all these people, Your Honor.
Now.
All they got was nothing but trouble.
Hi, this is Sam,
This is Becca.
and we are getting ready to watch a movie. If you get this episode and it sounds a little weird and it hasn't been edited right and you hear more breathing and noises than you usually did, it's because I don't have a computer right now. So I may just post this whole show directly without, and you won't get any samples and stuff because I might have got laid off. Friday.
This is coming to you from a tin can with a string.
We'll be getting a computer soon. And you know what? Maybe I'll get a computer and I'll just put this one up raw just as a reminder of this time in our lives.
To make us humble.
To make us humble. So,
You should have a GoFundMe for a computer.
well, that's a great idea.
Help Sam get a job.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to...
Maybe if you could only see the GoFundMes
Oh,
that I
I
see.
see. There was one lady once when we were doing it when we were pitching... Remember we had that idea where we were going to have people fund people's organ transplant? I mean, the organ transplant, you give your organs for that. When we were working on that, this is for, what was that? Organ donation on your license.
Which you do not have.
No, not anymore. Because that was such a horrible client.
No, it was because you love me.
No, it's because I love you, yes. One more, please. Anyway,
I told him that he's not allowed to donate any organs if he happens to die in a car accident because I'm going to come and collect them all and put them on my mantle. Yeah. So I have him with me always.
Oh, like the Vault of Horror?
Yes. Like how she had those pieces in the freezer or the ones in the jars.
Yeah, Terry Thomas's
I
body.
may have gotten some ideas.
The Terry Thomas of your life. So anyway, we had to look up all these crazy GoFundMes for it. And one lady wanted people to buy her wings so she could run around her backyard with wings. And it was like, you had to make a video saying why this will help me. And it was just like, oh.
The only thing I could ever see myself donating to.
Yeah. I donated one time. One of my friend's dogs was really sick.
Yes,
and
that.
And I've done that with dogs before. And I've done it for, when Balls died. I donated $25 to his funeral.
But the thing is, like I said, even with animals, it has to be for someone I know because you don't know where that money goes. No. You really don't.
No. I would.
No, I don't want to send you on a trip. No, I don't want to buy you a house. No, I don't want to pay your medical bills because I can't pay my medical bills.
We don't even have insurance anymore.
I know.
No, we do, but not for long.
We should have a GoFundMe to get us insurance. GoFundMe to get you a computer.
We're going to Kickstarter to have an agency.
We're just going to do this like everyone else.
So let's talk about some better things.
All we want from people is love and support.
Yes. Hey, thanks. Ted's shared the podcast out and we got a lot of hits.
I know.
There was an interview with me about the podcast. You should go to Super No Bueno.
I don't know. I just liked it the
I
other
think.
day.
Yeah, if you type in Super No Bueno, you'll see the address. But it's out there. It's been up for
What
a
does
while.
WordPress mean? It's a blog.
WordPress is a blog thing, but also WordPress is a way of building sites. Like our new agency site, which is pretty exciting, starting my own agency, is all through WordPress.
Can I call you Dr. Panico now?
I'm going to go back to school and get my certificate.
Your doctorate.
My doctorate.
What would you be a doctor of?
Octagon.
Oh,
Dr. Octagon.
a doctor of
If I get to be a doctor,
sexy lust.
if I get to be a doctor, do I get to wear my mask all the time?
No.
I love my favorite thing to do now is to wear a doctor's face mask and go into porn rooms at Family Video. Mm-hmm. And I come out and be like, everything's fine in there, but it's all muffled. Anyway, nothing
And
but...
we're always the only one in the store, so no one else laughs but me.
You're the only important person. The movie we were watching tonight is Nothing But Trouble from 1991. It is directed by and co-starring Dan Aykroyd. It's the only movie that Dan Aykroyd has ever directed.
And he wrote it with his brother Peter.
Yep. And the cast has
Chevy Chase,
Demi Moore,
John Candy,
Taylor Negron,
Raymond J. Barry,
and Brian Doyle Murray. Who is Raymond J. Barry?
and Tupac.
Oh, well, all of Digital Underground.
And Digital, yeah.
Raymond J. Barry is a stage actor.
And the one Baldwin brother.
Oh, yeah?
Not the young one. He's only in it for a minute.
Oh.
Not Alec, and not the young one, but
Hmm.
the other one.
I'll look it up on IMDb. I don't
Daniel, is that it?
I'm not sure.
I think
Valerie
so.
Bromfield is in this too, as Miss Perda. Yeah, Digital Underground is themselves. This movie was originally called Vulcanvania. According to one biography, Chevy Chase knew this was going to be the worst film he would ever make.
Why did he do it?
Because of his friendship with Dan Aykroyd. It was an unfortunate turning point in Aykroyd's career, leaving him only to blame for the film's spectacular failure.
No.
Yeah, best makeup it was nominated for, and it won a ton of Razzie Awards, which are the bad movie awards. So I'm probably gonna love it. Is what I'm saying.
You've never seen it, right?
No, I've seen all the videos though because big as a kid,
Yeah.
big Digital Underground fan. John Wesley is in it. He plays Sam.
He is, right.
Daniel Baldwin. Yeah, he plays dealer number 1.
Drugs.
Peter Aykroyd is Mike the doorman.
Danielle Aykroyd is porch person.
Tupac Shakur is
Yes.
Digital Underground member. Shock G is Humpty Hump in it. Schmoovy Schmoove. All the Digital Underground people are in this.
I thought Humpty Hump was a person.
Humpty Hump is really also somebody else. It's his alter ego.
Oh, I get
But
it.
he's Shock G. Digital Underground are crazy because, like, on one level, Digital Underground are very, like, just goofy party music. But on the other hand, like, Tupac's in Digital Underground. And, like, their album, the title of their album was Sex Packets. The one album. Sex Packets are what astronauts would carry into space so they wouldn't get crazy in space. And they're literally packets of drugs that give you orgasms without any liquid in your brain so that you don't, like, get crazy. The poison doesn't go to your system in space. It's an urban legend. I think it's true. They talked about how they wanted to sell them on the streets. The tagline for this movie, all they wanted was a little getaway. All they got was nothing but trouble. It cost $40 million to make, and it grossed $8.5 million in the U.S. What in other countries, how did it do? I'm going to say
None.
probably... Doesn't say. Back then, we didn't talk about worldwide gross. You know? But, so here's some facts. This movie is based on Dan Aykroyd's personal experiences. In 1978, he was pulled over for speeding in a rural town in the northeastern U.S. Police officer took him to the local justice of the peace in the middle of the night for a trial. Roger Ebert famously hated this movie so much he refused to write a review for it after giving it one of the most emphatic thumbs downs ever on Siskel and Ebert. On the show, he said when he went to a weekend showing, the theater was abandoned except for him, a few adults, and several teenagers who were making loud, rude comments on the screen. Ebert went over to the teens and asked them to be even louder so he didn't have to listen to the movie. The police badges, seen the revolving frames on both sides of the bench, are actual badges from Dan Aykroyd's collection.
Chevy Chase made fun of the film on his talk show.
Did he?
Said so.
He had his own keyboard on that talk show. His talk show, perhaps the worst movie ever. The worst show ever. The navigation system was an ETAC system. It's a company that built the first digital map. The system shown in the movie is not a GPS, but it works on stored maps and Dead Reckoning, which is pretty crazy. This film is a reunion for Second City, as Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, John Candy, Valerie Broomfield, and Brian Doyle Murray were all members. Who is Valerie Broomfield? I'm kind of interested to know who she was.
I think she plays the other police lady. She was in
She was on
Yeah.
the Rosie O'Donnell show.
She was on. Do you remember in Needful Things? Remember?
Yeah,
Remember the lady who had the dog?
yeah,
Remember the lady she was always fighting with?
yeah. Oh yeah, Wilma
She
Wilma
was-
Jersey.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She's in.
She's in a lot of like. I think she was like on Roseanne, a lot of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
she was on Who's Harry Crumb.
Yeah, she plays the police.
Oh, and she was on Grace Under Fire.
Yeah.
Oh, now I know who she is.
I
But
like
she's
her.
from SCTV.
Is she?
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't
so
know
the
that.
original, she was on the show, but she was also a member. Part of the movie was one day, Dan Aykroyd imagined John Candy at drag and laughed for weeks. Every time he imagined the image, he would burst out in laughter. So he wrote a movie around a scene where John Candy would be a woman. 4 films that Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd have been in, including Spies Like Us, Caddyshack 2, and The Couch Trip. So, I wonder what the goofs
Who
are.
do you like better, Dan Aykroyd or Chevy Chase?
Oh, there's no question, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, no, me too.
I don't like Chevy Chase at all.
Really?
I like
What
him in
about
movies,
National Lampoon?
in National Lampoon things, but knowing what I know about Chevy Chase,
You think
And-
he's a meanie?
the way he treated people and stuff, like when he came to the cast in the mid '80s, like after the bad season, the Jen Dumont season. So when the Eddie Murphy cast was there, they had Terry Sweeney was the first openly gay cast member, and the whole time Chevy Chase kept telling him that he wanted to have that he was going to rape him and he wanted oral sex from him, and he kept saying, "You're the fag, right? You're the one that's supposed to blow me." And he was like, "I'm on the show, like I'm not."
Yeah.
He said it, and like nobody would say anything to Chevy Chase, and he said he wanted to quit, like just being in show business after dealing with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty rough. So what can you do? Let me see. On the Laserdisc. Oh, never mind. This is kind of a spoof, sort of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They say.
Because they get trapped in the house
I don't really. That's
and
kind
chased
of
by
a
weirdos.
reach.
No, it's very similar. It looks very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soundtracks. Oh, there's all sorts of crazy music on this. There's Digital Underground's in it. Tell me, how many times has Becca seen this movie?
400, 500.
Why did you love this
600.
movie so much?
My mom rented it because she knew that we liked, Dan Aykroyd and stuff when we were little.
Yeah.
And Andrew and I just would watch it. It's, instead of putting on Sleeping Beauty for your kids,
Yeah.
these are the types of movies my mom would put on for us and just leave us in the room.
Do you want to know what movies you'd like if you like this?
They're never accurate. They're always just
Let's see.
who was in it.
Delirious.
You know,
Who's Harry Crumb?
yes, love it.
Armed and Dangerous. Funny Farm.
Eh,
Spies Like Us.
eh,
The Great Outdoors.
yes,
Cops and Robertsons.
it's okay.
Fletch Lives.
Eh,
Summer Rental.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
John Candy.
Someone wrote worst movie ever. Today's.
I'd like to speak to that person on a face.
Someone says, I thought I was the only one. That's this post. This is from Supernatural Girl. Really, I think.
Was she born in 1984 and was her name Becca and was
Listen,
she a Taurus?
this is what she says. Really, I thought I was the only person in the known universe who liked this movie. No, not liked. Loved. I loved it. And I did from the second I saw it when it came out. I was in university getting my visual arts degree, and the movie just blew me away.
She's older.
I started thrifting and decorating my house exactly like this in the movie.
Then me and her would not be friends because she lives in a pigsty.
I love watching and showing it to all my friends who inch away from me as I laugh at every joke. Someone said, this movie is amazing. When I was 10 years old, it was the only movie I rented at Blockbuster, this and Clue. Then someone said, when I am at a barbecue, to this day, I yell at people who wants a hot dog in Dan Aykroyd's voice. Then he says, this is how I like him, and I suggest you have him the same way. How do you like your dog?
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what your brother needs.
Yeah.
In the movie, he has a choo-choo. It's a real gross house. He has a choo-choo train going around the big
It
table.
shoots pickles.
No, it's full of condiments.
That's a dream.
No one needs a hot dog choo-choo.
These are my favorite things here.
What?
I wish they'd remake this movie. Here's who I think should be in it. Jason Sudeikis, Jason Bateman, or Paul Rudd as Chris Thorne. Diane should be Zooey Deschanel or Elizabeth Banks. I've often thought this is an extremely fun movie, considering the fact that there are so many reboots. I'm surprised it hasn't been touched. And someone said, please, let's not acknowledge this. Oh. So am I the only one who was seriously creeped out by John Candy as a mute woman? No,
Did you
definitely.
watch Who's Harry Crumb?
Yes, and says, no, you're definitely not. Aldona was quite the woman, also a genuine wage earner, single, best mechanic in 5 states, and struck dumb at birth by a thunderclap.
That's what he says.
Yeah. That's, worst Chevy Chase movie, someone says.
No, I don't agree with that. There's been worse.
Someone said worst movie ever. In interviews, Chevy Chase has said plenty of times the worst movie he ever did was Oh Heavenly Dog. He must be forgetting he was in this piece of crap. Nothing but troubles happens when a movie inspired by night heavy drinking becomes real. There's no one anywhere but those who wrote this movie thought that this was funny. Someone said, yeah, you think you're so fucking cool, brah. Someone said, the jokes aren't funny. You have to love booby traps, contraptions, set design, the whole gothic playfulness. If you don't allow yourself to have a cartoonish theatrical mind, you'll never get this movie its proper due. Ooh.
This person always probably also feels that the world has not given him his proper due.
Yeah. Someone said, this is the worst movie ever. And someone said, no, it is the worst from the 90s. Someone said, I could not agree more. I use this movie as a measuring board. Anyone who likes this movie, I don't ask what movies they like. It is painful to watch. Then someone said, hey, you've obviously never seen Manos, The Hands of Fate. There are worse movies. And Manos is one of Becca's favorite movies. She prefers the version of Manos that's not Mystery Science Theater. She prefers to see it. What is his name?
Keyhole.
Not Keyhole is not his name. Torgo. They took an entire town to make Manos.
That's your next brother or sister's name.
Yeah.
Torgo.
Torgo.
I'll get the luggage.
This is the craziest list of... You know, people make their list of shows they've seen. Like, I gotta get an IMDb account and just start sharing out the show. This guy wrote, here's a list of 41 movies I've seen.
No one cares.
Do you want to hear? These are of all the movies that have ever existed.
Podcast. It's if you want to listen, you can. You don't have to listen to us talk.
This is
not just for general information.
This person's name is Noel Watt.
What is his name?
Noel Watt. So like Noah Watt.
Dolly,
Of
what
all the movies that have ever been made in the history of movies, these are the 41 movies he's seen. Nacho Libre. All 3 Naked Gun movies.
Good for you.
The Nanny Diaries. Napoleon Dynamite. National Lampoon's Senior Trip. Vacation. National Treasure. Necessary Roughness. These are all N movies, by the way. Neighbors. Nell. Never Been Kissed.
So did he just take this off another list?
The Never-Ending Story. Maybe this is just the ends. Oh, these are just the ends of the movie he's seen.
More?
He has a whole bunch. New in Town. These are just the letter N that he's seen. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
I'll get this guy a girlfriend.
Guy or girl, girlfriend. He's
That's a
seen
lot.
Notting Hill. He's seen Becca's favorite movie ever. Now and Then. I'm going to make a list of movies that my wife loves that everybody else hates. Top on the list.
Precious.
See, Precious. A movie feature.
Did you watch Precious?
I watched it. That's what I've been doing. Now that I don't work during the day, I do work. I work from home. I am a house husband, and our office is now kind of like in the cloud.
He takes care of our 5 kids.
Yeah. So basically, what I do is I sit at home and I watch movies while I work. Today I watched Precious, and then I watched The Joy Luck Club, and then I watched.
No, you didn't, because that's like my most exciting fantasy that you'll watch this with me.
Oh, I watched The Joy Luck Club.
No.
And then I watched Steel Magnolias 3 times. And then I watched a bunch of Ryan Gosling movies. So these are comedy movies I've seen or want to see. These are the dumbest lists. Movies that I can't wait to see. All the movies. 2,300.
All the movies.
Over 2,300 movies. Film sack. What's in the film sack? You want to know what's in the film sack? Here we go. Film sack is opening right now. Inside the film sack, Crawl. 2010. Retrograde. Red Sonja. Alien Apocalypse. Species: The Awakening. The Original Clash of the Titans. Candyman. Runaway. Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. Dreamscape. The Original Planet of the Apes. Howard the Duck. Dream a Little Dream in the movie sack. Beetlejuice. Labyrinth. Is this your sack, baby?
Yes, it's my sack.
Convoy. Sudden Death. This is your movie sack. Dragon Slayer. This is your movie sack. Dune. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Speed. The Breakfast Club. Zardoz. Is this my sack? Fright Night. Hudson Hawk. Is this my sack? Over the Top. Is this my sack? Trawl 2. Trawl. Troll. Swamp Thing, the original. Time Cop. Lost Boys.
That's your sack.
Yes, it is my sack. Also, before we get to the movie, the worst thing that happened to me last week
Which part?
was not getting laid off. It's the fact that my wife, the night that I got laid off, my wife made me watch St. Elmo's Fire.
You loved it.
I was depressed
Which one do you most
all
associate
day.
with?
I was thinking about it
movie
today.
did we-
No, here's what I was thinking about today, and I yelled out a line from the movie when I was in the shower. When he was like, when Demi Moore's character was trying to kill herself by leaving a window open.
You could do that.
Let's talk about that movie for a second. This can be like a side podcast, side part of the podcast. St. Elmo's Fire, okay? Every single person in that movie is an asshole. There's
Whose
not
ward-
a single good...
Whose wardrobe would you think I would want to own? I bet you're wrong.
Ali Sheedy.
Yes.
Yes. But, so the only good person, here's the moral of this. Spoiler warning, if you haven't watched St. Elmo's Fire, it's 30 years old, go fuck yourself. Let's talk about the movie. Thanks, I'm not saying go fuck yourself. Thanks for listening to the podcast. You know what I'm saying, but if you haven't watched St. Elmo's Fire, you're probably better off. If you haven't, go fuck yourself.
That was you up until a week ago.
Fuck me a week ago. That Friday was the worst day ever. It was like...
And then I finished up.
you're like-
There's a little icing on the cake.
like, hey, I know you just
I'm
lost
really sad.
your livelihood and you don't feel like a man right now. Let's watch the worst movie ever.
No.
Anyway, so here's...
I needed some comforting that day too.
I
A
know.
little
Well,
panic.
you were like a little man in
And
motion. All you need is a bed of wheels. Is that what he said?
That movie.
What is the
makes me
lyrics of
happy.
that song?
I don't know.
All that is a man in motion. All I need is a pair of heels, a bed of wheels. Okay, so you got some.
Dale Beaverman.
So you got some. So here, let me talk about how much I dislike this movie. And no candy, please. I want to die.
Candy for the baby.
So here's my question about it. Everybody in that movie is an asshole. We have Dale Beaverman, who cheats
Andy McDowell.
the guy who cheats. She's not an asshole, but she's kind of an asshole. She leads Dale
a jerk.
Beaverman. She's a jerk. The dude who's
No.
with her is kind of a jerk, but he ends up being nice, right?
Kirby Kager's the one that's in love with her.
Kirby
Emilio Estevez.
Kager is the biggest jerk. No, Kirby Kager is the guy that's in love with her. Okay, let's go one at a time. So okay, let's start.
Billy Hicks is Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe, who plays saxophone,
drunk saxophone
a drunk
player.
saxophone player that gets fired from every job. We meet
Every
him.
job.
We meet him. As we meet him,
He's being arrested
he's being arrested
for DUI.
for DUI, and we're like, "Oh, cool story, bro." And then they get kicked out of St. Elmo's as always. They're like, why do I let you guys in this bar, even though the other guy works there. Okay.
I never found a job you could just leave and go places and come
Throughout
back.
the entire movie, he date rapes Demi Moore in one scene.
Tries to.
And then he gets kicked out of a car and laughs after he can't get in her pants. And then his wife, who he neglects for the entire movie until she becomes a vampire and joins the crew from Near Dark.
Yeah, Jenny Wright.
Yeah, she has their baby, and she's holding their baby crying while he's mad that he couldn't get into Demi Moore's pants. He is the most unlikable character, and I love Rob Lowe. But anyway, I yelled out the Rob Lowe line today. I was like, "You think you have it bad?" I was looking in the shower today, and I found some hair that came out. Okay, he's vain. He wears a muscle shirt throughout a good chunk of the movie. He is on stage playing a saxophone, and he beats up the guy who's...
two X's.
Yeah,
It's probably Hicks, Hicks,
Oh, God.
but he changed it.
he's my second favorite Hicks in the history of movies.
I'll call you Sammy.
I yelled out a
Panics.
I yelled out a Hicks line the other night because you said the lights are out, and I screamed, "They're animals! How can they cut the power?" I say Hicks stuff all the time.
You know.
Anyway, so there's the girl who works in the soup kitchen.
Mayor Winningham.
Mayor
Wendy.
Winningham, who the entire movie they set up that she's chubby. She's not.
Surely not.
She's
I
not.
think they put her in some bad clothes even.
But like they make fun of her because she has like the girdle on and the one.
She dresses like Little House on the Prairie, like
Oh,
legit
yeah.
Little House on the Prairie. I don't know where you buy dresses that were like overall jumpers
Her parents are assholes.
with
Because
turtlenecks.
here's the thing, if my daughter had a guy over and he
You
was
would love it if Pepper dressed like that.
no, I would. Well, our daughter's going to be a butch lesbian and never
Dressed
never
like
date guys. So it's going to
Andrew
be
McCarthy.
she's going to look like Andrew McCarthy. I'm going to make her straight.
I'm supposed to have
shorter.
the ugliest daughter ever.
No, yes.
No.
She'll be beautiful to me, but she will also just every other father will call me like, your daughter slept with my daughter again. I'm like, I know, it's awesome. Like, my daughter's a predator. Anyway, not a predator, but a predator. She gets out there and does stuff. I'll be so proud of her. Anyways, so they dress this girl. This girl dresses horrible, and so if say she was my daughter, and fucking Rob Lowe's out on the roof, like hanging off the roof drunk, I'd be like, when he gets off the roof, he's going the fuck home. He's going home. He's gonna go home. No, he's just in the living room, like no big deal. And he starts making out with her. Then he starts making fun of her clothes, and she cries and goes up to her room. And she's like, "Here's your money for your rent." She pays all his rent money. I don't get any of this, right? I don't understand any of this. So then the only person in the movie, I'll get back. Remind me of my moral of this movie after we get through everybody. Demi Moore works in an office, does coke with Arab dudes.
Yeah.
And constantly calls another woman's husband to bail her out.
Jules.
And she tries to kill herself later in the movie by opening all the windows of the house up and sitting in the middle of it. Everybody's concerned. Like,
She's freezing to death.
she's not. There's no way she could die from
It's
this.
fall.
It's fall. It's not even winter. Like nobody even has
It's the brisk
jackets on.
Georgetown fall.
And they're like, Jules is gonna die. Like from what? It is the most least traumatic suicide attempt in the history of suicides. Okay. She leads every dude on in the movie. She is convinced that Kirby Kager is gay. Constantly tries
Andrew McCarthy.
Oh God.
Can't even keep it straight.
I can't. What's his name?
Give me a minute.
Anyway, Andrew McCarthy's character, the writer, she's convinced he's gay. Keeps trying to set her up with her neighbor, who is the most stereotypical '90s gay guy. Late 80s, early 90s gay guy. He's like, I'm a decorator. I decorated her house and put a giant Billy Idol on the wall with neon earrings. And my wife said, we're getting that on our wall.
We're getting that.
Okay, so then we have the writer, played by Andrew McCarthy. He's in love with his best friend's wife, Ali Sheedy. No, we have to keep going because I can't edit it, so we have to keep going. Just wait to smoke your cigarette for 1 minute.
Laundry.
We'll get your laundry in a minute. We'll be done in 2 minutes. Just let me get through the rest of this review. Ali Sheedy is married to...
She's not married.
She's engaged, or not engaged to, but wants to get married.
Alex/John Bender/
Judd Nelson.
Yeah.
Who can't stop sleeping around, but they never show it.
No.
And
Don't have enough time.
no.
Too much Billy Idol and hookers.
Yeah. So he's like wants to get married, doesn't know why. He used to be, he's like the hero of the group.
He's a Democrat, he was.
He was a Democrat, now he's working for a Republican. There's a poor Chinese dude that everybody screws over when they get jobs for him. Rob Lowe sleeps with his limousine driver.
Yes.
And somehow she keeps her job, but he loses his. I don't understand. Reverse glass ceiling of the 80s.
Yes.
Tonight, when I was explaining to my wife why when guys work at places and people call them names, they shouldn't get upset. She's like, "What if someone called me a name?" And I said, "Well, that's different." She screamed, "Glass ceiling!" right in my face.
Trump.
Okay, Trump. And I was like, "No, I'm being."
Hey, pussy grabber.
So finally, who else have I missed? Have I hit everybody? Oh, the writer.
No, you got it.
The writer who lives with Kirby Kager.
Yeah.
And he hasn't dated anybody.
Kevin.
He hasn't dated anybody because he's in love with Ali Sheedy, and they finally get to do it.
And his coffin with her pictures.
Yes, and then she's like, "I really don't want to be with either of you," and everybody's like, "That's cool. We'll just be friends, because that's the '80s, and let's just all do coke, and we'll ride in a Demi Moore's
Jeep Wrangler.
Jeep Wrangler,
Or
with
a Sahara, sorry.
Sahara with the top down.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, she doesn't even have a job. She just goes in and acts like it. And she used to be sleeping with her boss, but now she has some fake guy act like her boss. She's just crazy, and all she does is cocaine. And oh my God, she's gonna kill herself by leaving all the windows open.
By air.
By air. What is she, Aquaman? Aquaman's wife, Mira.
Mira.
Finally, here's why I hate this movie.
Why?
Because the girl who's a virgin,
Yeah.
who works in the, what's her name?
Wendy.
Who works in the soup kitchen.
Yeah.
She's the only good one of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the entire movie, she decides to keep her.
She gets shitted on the most.
Shitted on the most. She decides to keep her virginity, and
No, they do it.
No, wait, yes.
Oh.
And even whenever he's shitty her, she's like, "You know what? I'm worth a lot more than that." And she's almost gets married to that dude for the LeBaron, and she's like, "This isn't me."
Howie.
She's the only person that's really true to herself, even though her LeBaron gets stolen. It's
Beautiful LeBaron. I'd marry Howie for that car.
the second best LeBaron in a movie ever. Next to Freddy Got Fingered, which is a million times better than this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine. So anyway, they go. All this happens. She finally, the last night that Rob was there, he's moving to New York so he can become a sax guy, and his wife's getting remarried. He's not really upset. He's like, I could be there for the kid, but I don't want to be one of those dads that just takes kids on the weekends. No, that's what dads get to do when you don't have custody. Like, that's what normal adults do. And you're like, you know what? And she's like, that's really good of you. That's really, like, that's presented as, like, he made the right call. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be around at all for the kid. It's either, 8 days a month or none. And I figure the kid would probably appreciate none. I'm going to go play my saxophone in New York because that's what people do.
That's my real baby.
The only person that's ever been successful playing the saxophone is Clarence Clemens, and he's dead.
Who's that?
The guy used to be in Bruce Springsteen that would kiss Bruce Springsteen every night.
Oh.
Can you think of another saxophone player that is important at all? Other than Bleeding Gums Murphy
Chevy
from
Chase
The
and Paul
Simpsons.
Simon.
They
If you
play
be
that.
my bodyguard.
Anyway, so she sells out and has sex with him, and then she's like, "Oh, cool." She's like, "I'm glad we just did it for fun." No, you sold out your morals
Yeah.
for a one night fling with this dude, and you went against character. The only person that's good set up for the entire movie. At the end of this movie, what have any of them learned? Demi Moore's not going to stop just because they got an acetylene torch and cut their way into her house.
She's still going to do drugs and shop.
She's still going to do drugs and spend all her money and sleep with weird Arab dudes.
Yeah.
And like now nobody is with Ali Sheedy, and she's just like, I'm just going to date a bunch of dudes. And they're like, that's cool. We'll all be friends. They're not going to be friends.
No, they're going to drift apart.
The two dudes are going to hate each other. They're always going to have the Eskimo brotherness between them.
Yeah.
And then if she ever makes a decision, they're still going to end up hating her.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's his name? Like, didn't get Andy McDowell. He's crushed. He's gonna. I don't know what Emilio Estevez is gonna do.
Yeah.
The whole movie. I've been thinking about the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe that's. I don't know. What's Emilio Estevez doing now? That's the last thing I want to answer before.
What was the moral?
The moral of the story was nothing. The moral of the story was that these people were horrible people. They learned nothing from this experience, and that being in your 20s is really hard because you just when you graduate college, you're not the fun guy anymore. He goes back to college and he's like, is there anything I can do? Like, yeah, you can get us drugs. He should have been like, cool story, bro. Mm-hmm. Emilio Estevez looks so much like his dad now. It's kind of scary. He's an American actor, director, and writer.
I thought he was nice.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because he was with your homegirl, Paula Abdul?
Yeah.
Yeah? He, his brother's Carlos Estevez. That's where their name is. Brat Pack years, career as an adult.
Directing.
He's been
career.
directing. He's directed episodes of Cold Case, Close to Home, The Guardian.
He was in the music video.
Oh, where he played Kirby Krieger. The music video features all 7 members of the film looking sadly through the foggy
John Bon
windows.
Jovi.
He's a close friend of John Bon Jovi. He appeared in the Blaze of Glory video as Billy the Kid from Young Guns. He's the older brother of Charlie Sheen. He has a steady relationship. He had a steady relationship with Carrie Sally, a media model until '86. They share a son and a daughter. He's briefly engaged to Demi Moore. They remain good friends. And then he married Paula Abdul, and 2 years later, they divorced.
That's so sad. I wish they would have stayed together.
Yeah, she wanted kids and he didn't.
But who did he have kids with?
That model.
Before or after her?
Before.
Oh.
He hasn't been in anything since 2010.
Oh.
He directed and wrote a thing called The Way.
He just hangs out. I think his brother steals all
Do you
the
think his brother kind of
thunder.
ruined things for him?
Yes. With his aids and
I
his
mean-
outbursts.
His aids. You know, your aids and your outbursts.
Yes.
What's he? Is he good? Oh, he's in pre-production. Oh, in 2012 he was in pre-production on
I don't
something.
think it happened.
No, I don't think it happened. What's he been directing? He has 13 credits as a director. He's written stuff. Nope, he's not doing anything. Some trivia about him. Would you like to know?
Sure.
He has his own vineyard. How about
That's
that?
of his estates.
Yeah. He has a unique laugh. He focuses on characters and not the plot in his films that he directs. Once engaged, as we said, to Demi Moore. He graduated from Santa Monica High School. He's former brother-in-law of Denise Richards. His close friends growing up, Rob Lowe, Chad Lowe, Chris and Sean Penn. They used to act, write, produce, and direct movies on their home video camera. I would watch those movies all the time. But Best Man at the wedding of Tom Cruise and Mimi Rogers.
I forgot about them.
Yeah.
Do you think she was a Scientologist?
Yes, she was. His daughter's name is Paloma Estevez. And
Paloma.
and she has been in a few movies just as a young girl. His son is Taylor Estevez. He was born in June 1984, and he is a stuntman. He does a lot of stunts on different TV shows. Let's see. Reported as a child, he did not get along with his brother at all. In fact, they fought constantly.
Makes sense.
He was originally set to play the lead in Platoon, but when production shut down for 2 years, he moved on, and the role went to his brother. He went to public school. He did not want to go to private school. His father is half Spanish and half Irish. His mother is half English and half Scottish. And then, let's see, he said, I used to Google my name to see what came up, and it hurt a lot, so now I don't do it.
Poor buddy.
Yeah, poor buddy. His salary for D3, the Mighty Ducks, $3 million.
That's a lot of money for that.
Finally, the last thing, and then we'll take a break and we'll watch this movie. I'm going to go through Emilio Estevez movies and see which ones my wife likes. My favorite. The Outsiders.
Yes.
Repo Man.
Yes.
Breakfast Club.
Yes.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Yes.
Maximum Overdrive.
Yes.
Stakeout.
Yes.
Young Guns.
Yeah.
Young Guns 2.
Eh.
Men at Work.
Eh.
Free Jack.
Yes.
Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
Another Stakeout.
Eh.
D2.
Yes.
D3.
Eh.
The Wonderful World of Disney, where he played Gordon Bombay on that, too.
I don't remember that.
That's pretty much... He played his dad's younger self on West Wing. That's pretty much it. And he was on 2.5 Men with his brother. Literally, after 96, that's pretty much it.
He's had, 30 years out? Was 96 or is
Yeah.
that 20 years?
Someone said, worked in a Taco Bell for the last 8 years. This is a post. Just read this on the Anger Management Board. Can't believe someone who's such a big star had to work in a fast food place. Oh, it's based. He doesn't really work at Taco Bell. This was a fake story. Why would you believe it? That's what someone just said to him.
My baby's gullible.
Other works. He has appeared in the Bon Jovi video for Say It Isn't So, along with Matt LeBlanc, Claudia Schiffer, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. He released a book along the way, The Journey of a Father and Son. And he released the book Charlie, Emilio, and Martin, a part of its children's series Star Families. Emilio Estevez has done... But it's just amazing. Like, he went from being like one of the most important stars in the world to being no one. How did we get to talking?
It happened.
How is he in this movie?
No.
How did we get to talking about him?
St. Elmo's Fire.
How did we get to talking about St. Elmo's Fire?
You brought it up. You said I made you.
Oh, and Demi Moore's in that, and then she's also in this.
Yeah.
Do you think she'll try to kill herself by leaving the windows open again?
Yes.
Whew! That was a big opening. Well, it's time to watch. If you would like to watch this movie, you should watch it. You can get it for $3 from Amazon Streaming.
Probably get it cheaper than that.
You can probably find it on YouTube if you looked hard enough. You can probably buy a used DVD like we did. Anyways, Becca's going to get her laundry. She's going to have a cigarette and smoke it downstairs. She's going to take a picture of our dog on the couch.
And then find a puppy.
And then we're going to watch this movie.
Over there.
Over where?
Over there.
Over here?
No, over there.
Over there.
The warehouse is in danger. The goodies we must save. All officers report at once. The situation's grave. Go get 'em, boys. For goodness sake. The culprits must be stopped. We'll make the scene with our siren. Your soda pop as pop. Aha! The guilty ones are trapped. We've now performed our mission. But the climax is at Captain Kill. We have an intermission.
So we watched Nothing But Trouble. Mm-hmm. That's a weird movie.
I think it's nothing but spectacular.
I like Little Devil and Bobo, my two favorite people in the movie.
The big chubby babies.
The big chubby babies that just want to hang out and wrestle.
And play cards.
They're wonderful. Like, they eat cereal and they wrestle. They eat too much cereal and they get fat.
Chubs.
There really is. Like, this
There's
movie,
no rhyme or reason.
But here's the thing. I totally expected this movie to be much, much, much,
sillier.
much worse than it was.
Yeah.
Because I always hear about how it's the worst movie ever. It's horrible. And it's not. It's not. I've seen a million times worse movies than this. Mm-hmm. I can think of 10 movies we saw this year in the theater that were worse movies than this.
Yeah.
It's
Lights out.
It's dumb, and it doesn't make a lot of sense, and but
I think the first time I saw it, I was little, and it's kind of, since it's so goofy, it's like a kid's movie, so you just get hooked.
It's weird because it's a kid's movie, and then there's incredibly dark sections of people being destroyed and their bones being spit out of a machine.
It's like, you kind of want to know what was wrong with them, like, where did this even come from to write it?
Well, I guess this happened to him, like, because he used to go...
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't go somewhere where they spit your bones out.
But the crazy thing about... Well, Dan Aykroyd's into a lot of conspiracy stuff, so there was a ton of conspiracy stuff in this movie with, like, Jimmy Hoffa and all the missing people and stuff. So it's totally Dan Aykroyd's movie. I mean, it's very much his sensibility. There's a lot of police stuff. He loved police stuff. He loves badges and stuff like that. But on Saturday Night Live, when the show would wrap, before the Blues Brothers started, like once the Blues Brothers started, they owned their own bar, and they used to host the after parties, and he wouldn't leave. But before that, he would just go on his motorcycle and disappear. Like, he wouldn't go to the after party, he wouldn't hang out, and he wouldn't show back up for like 2 days. And they would say, "Where would you go?" And he was like, "Don't worry about it." And he wouldn't tell people. There's a crazy story in the Tom Shales book that you bought me, the History of Saturday Night Live, where they did a sketch about the Hells Angels.
Yeah. And
the Hells Angels hadn't seen the sketch till it played on repeat in the summer. They saw it, and Dan Aykroyd was wearing one of their vests with all their colors on it. And they flipped out. They came to the studio, to 30 Rock, beat up one of the security guards, and got upstairs. And they threatened to kill whoever was wearing their colors on TV. And Michael O'Donoghue was the only person in the office, and he was all freaked out. And they said, "Well, you need to come, and you need to bring our colors back. We're going to come back here and kill everybody inside here. We're going to bomb NBC."
You did tell me that before.
Yeah, so Dan Aykroyd was like, "This is the greatest thing ever. These guys are heroes. These guys are American role models." So Dan Aykroyd walked through Harlem to where their their headquarters was
Mm-hmm.
by himself with like all these guys pulling guns on him and stuff, handing it back, and they realized that it was just all like cardboard drawings, like it wasn't even real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like real patches? And they said, "How did you do this so well?" And he's like, "Oh, I worship you guys. I respect you guys, and all this stuff." And that's why Dan Aykroyd started riding Harleys all the time.
Yeah.
Because they like gave him one of their bikes and they made him an honorary Hell's Angel.
Oh.
The saddest thing when I was a kid is after John Belushi's funeral, he drove his Harley like away from it at the
Yeah.
end, and I just remember that visual being so sad because they were so close.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dan Aykroyd's crazy. Like he refused, unlike everybody else in Saturday Night Live, to be himself in any of the sketches.
Yeah.
He was always a character, and he would disappear into these characters, which is what he does in this movie too.
Yeah.
He also is a mutant. He has webbed toes and hands. He really does. And his grandfather was a legit Ghostbuster. That's where all the stuff, all the science in Ghostbusters is real. Like how the traps work.
Yeah.
Like the original script of it is really long on the science of how it happens. Oh my! Becca just shared with me well, I guess we have to get Amazon streaming, huh?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Says that they know about the Dennis Farina ones, but the Robert Stack ones are on now too.
Robert Stack episodes of Unsolved Mysteries have hit Amazon Prime.
That's a great.
I think my parents may have that.
Do they?
I'll check.
Oh, well, they should just probably get it.
Anyhow, what would you give this movie?
I give it an A.
An A?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an A minus.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I actually loved it, and it's a great episode of How Did It Get Made, which is an inspiration for the show. If you listen to that, the makeup effects are great. There's great makeup in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's really the sets had a cost. Like there's no CGI in this movie. Like these sets like had to take up like forever. They had to be the biggest sets ever. You can see the budget of how much this went over. You can see the budget wasn't spent on salaries and stupid things. The budget all went into this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is one of those movies where I'm like, who did they make this for?
I know.
Like,
For me.
Yeah, I guess for us. Well, thanks for listening. And another episode is in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this one will be edited all right. We don't really have a way to edit it yet, but who knows?
We're sorry if it sounds bad.
Well, we'll get back. We're going to take this over, don't worry. Well, thank you, Becca.
Thank you, Sammy.
Oh, wow. And
Thank you, Hubs.
thank you, wife. And as Becca always says,
I'll see you at the movies.